I'm going to record this lesson just so you guys can find it. Hopefully you can find it a bit useful. Okie dokie. So with 2G, we're going to look at summarizing data today. Now, what does it mean by summarizing? This idea of summarizing data is really looking into figuring out what's useful to us, okay? So when we get a data, I like to call this a data dump. So it's just a bunch of numbers, it's dumped on you, right? We know that we have to sort this out. We know that we have to put this in a diagram, right? Once we sorted it out and we put it in the diagram, then we need to analyze it. So this is where the analysis starts coming in, right? We've already kind of touched base on analysis. That was when we started looking at the three things of shape, spread, and location, right? So with this, we're going to extend it and we're going to delve, rather than just looking at the general shape and the general spread and the general location of where it is, we're going to focus more on the spread and the location today. The first thing we look at today is the location. So how can we measure the location? The second thing as well is we're going to look at how we measure the spread. Each of them are different ways of kind of looking at the location, and same with the spread as well. But the good thing about this is that it's like you can pick and choose how you want to analyze it. And sometimes it's better this way, sometimes it's better in a different way. You don't have to pick and choose. We're going to tell you exactly which one you need to do. Okay, so say for example, I want you to find the mean, or I want you to find the median. Okay, so those are the two ideas that we're going to be starting off with today. So you can see here, I've written a little note here at the top that represents the mean. So I've also labeled it here as well, because you've always learned about the mean and last year and like the years before, but it's like, okay, well, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to calculate. I know how to calculate it, but now we're looking at the location. That's what that's what it means. That's what it's used for. Okay? So you can see here, I'm just putting it into words or in a formula so it's easy to read. So we need to sum all the data values, and then we need to divide it. We needed to divide it here by the total number of data values. Okay? If we want to be more professional, if we want to be more formal, so remember the register continuum, you've got some parts that are not so formal, so a bit more informal, and then you got really technical language, which is formal. This is a more formal definition here. And I don't know if you've seen these symbols around before. You may have come across them, but this is a Greek letter for epsilon, but what it stands for is it means the sum, okay? So back then we would have done plus, plus, plus. That's like the baby step version. We need to evolve a bit more. So they've introduced this sum symbol. Okay. So what are we doing? We're summing all of the x values. All the x values represent this here. Okay. Each of individual value is an x value. So we need to add them all up. And then we divide it by this n value here. So n stands for the number of data, okay? So here, typically, if you were to do this by hand, right? If you were to do this by hand, well, what's with today's songs? I might change it. So if we were to do it by hand, we would have to go through, and you've done this already last year, right? And by now, you're probably bored out of your brains. This here represents the mean. Rather than writing the word mean and then writing your calculation, I can write X bar. And you're going to use this in year 12, okay? 16 plus 16 plus 15 plus 12 plus 12. Oh, goodness. I might write it down here. And you can see how this is already such a big pain. It's going to be such a pain because you have to write this all out. And then you have to divide it by the number of teams, okay? So how many do we have here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. We've got 18 teams. So we have to divide it by 18. And then now you have to go over to the calculator and you have to punch it in. Okay, so this is how we've done it in the past. This is super, super slow. And especially if you get given even more data, if you even have more numbers, then it's going to take even longer. So this is why we're going to use the CAS. We're going to go to the CAS and the CAS is going to do it all for us. But I just want you to understand how to do it by hand. We're going to revisit this later. We just need to put in the numbers. We chuck it in the calculator. We do a couple of things, and then it will spit out your answer, okay? You don't even have to write this down. Like, please don't write it down. Now, you guys have already, so is everyone okay with the mean? Can I just get a thumbs up? Anyone confused about it? You've done this in the past, like probably since year 7. Okay, awesome. I'm not going to bother punching this in the calculator. I'm not going to bother finding the value. The focus is to understand how to do it rather than, just finding the answer. And I'm sure, hopefully by now, we're more than halfway through year 11 now. Showing how you do your working out is so, so important. Yeah, so I'm just reiterating that one more time. Now, the second thing that we look at, remember, we're still trying to find the middle, yeah, the location. So the middle of this whole distribution here. There's another thing that we can look at. We don't just have to look at the mean, we can look at the median. And you can see here, this is the middle number. Now, I've written out the way that you can do it by hand, right? You have to sort out all the numbers, and then once you sort out all the numbers, then you need to count them from the outside in. Okay, so let me give you an example here. So this is a stable leaf plot. The numbers are increasing here, and from the top we go down. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the middle number, yeah? So I'm going to cross off 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to keep going 1, 2, 3, 4 until I reach the middle number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the one. Yeah, that one there should be the middle number. Okay, so our median is 41. It's the age of 23 people. So the age, so I'm just going to say 41 years old. Okay, going back to the general idea as well. But I'm just going to mark you present. So that's how we find the median, right? There's a more technical way that you can do it that's a bit more shortcut, but it's more technical. If you were to do it by hand, that's how you do it, okay? Sometimes you can have two middle numbers. Like say, for example, a data dump like this. 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to add one more, and 13. Right, let's say our data is this here. Data values. If we want to find the median, we cross off, and you can see all the numbers are already in order. Okay, that's what we want. We want to cross off from either side till we get to the middle. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay, now if I go cross these off, then I'm not going to have a middle number. So in this case here, we seem to have two middle numbers. But once you got this, then what you need to do is you need to add them together and divide it by 2. We need to find the average of those two values. So technically our middle number is directly in between there. So that's going to be equal to 9.5 for our median. Is everyone okay with this? How we calculate the median here? Thumbs up, thumbs down? All right, no worries, Huda. Paul, Zach, Maddie, Arati, Haley, Matt, awesome. Grace, Arafat, oh, sweet. Thanks, Arati. Okay. So again, you would have been doing the median for a very long time now as well. Okay, that's all good. We're going to move on now. Now, those were the two main ideas when we do location. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll down here. There's two ways to find your location. Let's do a little summary here. Arafat, what was one of our ways that we find the median? What was one of the ways that we find the location?
By what do you call thingy? We find the location by what do you call
Starts with an M?
medium.
Yep. Median. What's the other one?
I remember it.
There's a magnifier. Oh, I'm being retarded.
I was gonna say, what are you on about?
If I'm very angry at you, what do I do?
Median.
Arafat?
Mean.
Median.
Yep.
And then range.
Range is a measure of spread, yeah? So that one's not calculating for the location.
Yep.
Give me a second, guys. So another name for the mean is the average, okay? And if you want to know how to calculate it, then you go to the top and you have a look at the notes. Another word for the median is the middle, okay? So median, middle, mean, average. Okay, that's a summary there of the ideas, okay? If you want to go into the details, you need to scroll up in our notes. So the next thing now, so that's the median there. The next thing now is we need to look at the spread. So remember in our previous chapter, we spoke about the shape, we talked about the location, and now we're going to talk about the spread. When we talked about the spread, we were talking about if it was really wide or if the spread was really narrow. Okay, so these ideas here, the next couple of ideas is going to tell you how to calculate the spread. Each of them holds a different kind of idea, but it still kind of measures the spread. It just depends what you're looking at, okay? So we know how to find the range, that's classic. We can find the range by we find the maximum value, as you can see here. We find the maximum value, then we find the minimum value, and then you subtract the two. You start with the bigger number, you start with the maximum, and then you subtract the minimum. Okay, so if you have a look here, we have all of our data. If it's the only thing we need to find, then it might be easier to do it by hand. Okay. So what we do, we look for our smallest number. That's the 2. We look for our largest number here. Seems to be 91.
94,
So,
right near it. 94.
oh, next to it. Oh, I'm blind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All good.
So you've got your maximum number, you've got your minimum number. Now, instead of just writing the answer, at least show 94 minus 2. Okay? So this number is really big. It's a really big number. It's 92. That's how much our values spread across. We're going from 2 all the way to 94. Okay? So that's one way to measure how wide we're spreading. So the marks here in the class vary completely, like it's a huge spread. And in our class as well, realistically speaking, there's a huge spread as well. So you can see this is for task A. So like say for example, hurdle task 1. Task B here might be talking about hurdle task 2. Okay, so if you have a look at the spread now, oh, they actually put it in numerical order already. How nice of them. You can see here the lowest and the highest value for task B. If you want to calculate the range, take the largest number, 91, and you subtract the smaller number, 11. 91 minus 11 is 80. So which one has a tighter spread or more narrow?
Task B.
Task B, because it has a smaller range. Okay, we're only going from 11 to 91. Gordon, hello. Oh, no, wait, he's still connecting with the audio. Hi, Gordon. I just marked you here.
How's it?
Excellent. Don't forget, it's Flex Friday today, so you have a revised timetable. Do you guys know when your next class is?
11:45.
11:45, all right, sick. So, that's how you find the range. Any questions on this, or is it pretty straightforward? You've been doing this since like year 7 as well. Thumbs up? Awesome. Ali, Teresa, Forrest, Arafat, Maddie, Gordon, just came in, but you got it too. Awesome.
Yeah, I remember. I think I remember how to do it.
Yeah, just the biggest number minus the smallest number. So that's how we measure the spread. The other 2 ideas that we've gone through as well is median, finding the middle number. So you line the numbers up, you cross them out on both sides equally until you get to the middle number. Now here you see that we've got 2 middle numbers, yeah, Gordon? So if we actually want to find the middle, then we need to find what's in between those 2 numbers. So you add them together and then you divide it by 2. Cool? Gordon?
All right.
Yeah? Okay, straightforward?
Yeah, it's straightforward.
Awesome. And the other thing as well, we were talking about the mean. So the mean is where you add all the numbers up and then you divide it by however many numbers there are. Easy? You've done this a million times as well, probably since like year 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're just specifying here now that the mean and the median focuses on us finding the location. So going back up to this idea up here, remember how we talked about the shape, the spread, and the location? Yes? Gordon?
Yeah.
Yep. We were focusing on the location there when we spoke about the mean and the median. When we talked about the range, that's talking about the spread. So how wide is this data spreading, okay, when we compare it to something else, okay? So constantly just going back and like making sure that you guys see the bigger picture about all these ideas, these smaller ideas. So you might start to notice now that we have the idea of shape, location, and spread, and then we go into the specifics, mean and median. Then you can even go more specific down into a deeper level, and that's how you calculate each of them, okay? And if you go over to spread, so far we've got the range. We go into a deeper level, you figure out how to calculate them. The next thing we can calculate as well is the IQR. Now this one here tricked a lot of people, or tripped up a lot of people. The IQR is the interquartile range. The interquartile range basically puts out all the data, right? Let's say the data looks like this, for example, and it's saying that it's calculating the middle 50%. So let's just say that everything under here is equal to 100%, yeah? But if we want 50%, we could just draw a line down the middle, true? But is this the middle 50% or is that the 50% on the right? Okay. What we're doing when we're finding the interquartile range is we're finding the middle 50% like this. Now, that might make sense. Let me draw another diagram that will relate to this. What is this called?
Box plot.
Box plot. Now, remember how we spoke about like the middle 50%? You can see here, this is broken up into 4 segments. 1 segment from here to here. 2 segments. 3 segments. And 4 segments. Each of these segments here represent 25%. Okay, so you can see what I mean when I say the middle 50%. That's from there, from this section up until this section. That's the middle 50%. Okay, so how do we calculate this? We calculate this by finding Q3 and Q1, so quartile 1 and quartile 3. The process to do this is super long. It's super long because in order to find Q1 and in order to find Q3, you need to find the median first. We need to find the middle point, and then from there we find the other 2 middle points. So if you have a look here, if you have a total of 30, if you have all of these here, right? You need to go ahead and find the median first, wherever it is, and then let's say the median's here, right? The cutoff point is here. Once you've found that, then you have to find the middle again of that first bottom half. Let's say it's 13. And then you realize, oh, okay, that's Q1. Now I need to do the same to the second set of data. Like I need to do that to the top half in order to find Q3. Once you've got those numbers, then you need to subtract them from each other. So you can see here that if you want to calculate it, it's 3 steps altogether. I'm not going to ask you to calculate them by hand. okay? Because you have technology. When you go into year 12, I want you to use that technology as well. It's about being efficient. It's about being like you have to be able to manage your time because there's only so much time that you have to do the test. Or like say, for example, when you go out into the workplace, if you do any data analysis, you want to save time. You don't want to sit around and do this by hand. Okay? So keep an eye, the main ingredients, yeah? So in order for us to calculate, the main ingredients we need is Q3 and Q1. So stash that in your mind. Remember, we're finding the middle 50% here with the interquartile range. So with the spread so far, we've covered two ideas. We've covered the range and the interquartile range. Okay, we've got one more idea of spread and then I'll show you how to do it all on the CAS. So if you want to do it on the CAS, we need to cover one more idea. I'm just letting Yusuf in here. Hi, Yusuf. You know today's like different timetable, yeah? Hello?
How's it going, sir?
Yeah, good, good. Did you know today, like, today's lesson started at 10? It's Flex Friday.
Oh, it always starts
I
at
am
10 anyway.
aware of that, sir. I've just woken
Yep, all good.
So this
Thanks for
second period's
coming.
always 10 o'clock.
Oh, it is. Damn it, Yusuf. I tried
so
protecting you,
confused.
man.
So
Like
confused.
today's timetable, because it's Friday, it's a bit different, especially during remote learning.
For
But
the last two
this
periods.
class, yeah, last two periods are different. But period 1 and 2 always start at 10 o'clock. Damn it, man. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt here.
So apparently, you can't be marked late.
Yeah, I know. I
Who
marked you
said this?
present.
Miss Williams.
It's just
Uh,
present or not absent.
Yeah.
Not
Present or
absent.
not
Okay.
absent. Not absent is present.
Oh, bro, what? Absent. Bro, F off.
You
Shut
mean
it.
not present?
Shut it, bro.
All right.
It's the same
So,
thing.
yes, present and not absent is the same thing. Facts, man. All right, so the standard deviation here. I don't know if you guys have heard about the standard deviation before. It might be a new concept to you altogether. But so far, we've figured out the range.
Doesn't deviate just mean different?
Deviate, yeah, different. Or how much does it differ? Okay, how different is it? The range measures from the start all the way to the end, right? The interquartile range measures the middle 50%, but the standard deviation, I'm going to represent it as SD or just SX here. With a standard deviation, it's how far you're spreading starting from the middle. Okay, so we have the median here, or sorry, not the middle, the mean. The mean. So X bar is our mean, and then we can spread out from there. Okay. So do you see the difference between the three? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see the difference there? There's three different ways of measuring the spread. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Does it kind of make sense? Okay, Haley, Teresa, Maddie, Force, Arafat, awesome, legend. Okay. Now, when you go to calculate the standard deviation here, you can see the formula for it. Yikes. Okay. You are
Uh,
not expected to learn how to calculate the standard deviation by hand. Not in year 12. And I'm definitely not going to expect you to find it in year 11. The amount of algebra in this formula here is perhaps beyond our level of complexity. I can spend some time to teach you how to calculate this by hand, but it will probably scramble your brains and you'll be more confused than where you started. Okay? So they show you how to calculate the standard deviation by hand, but the main idea that I want you to understand from standard deviation is that you start from the mean, and the standard deviation is how far you jump out from it. Okay, it's the same amount. Okay, so that's your standard deviation. Okay, you can jump twice out, so you can go up twice and you can go down twice. And
so it's proportional.
yeah, it's the same amount every time. Okay, you can go out 3 times from there. Next year you'll learn about this standard deviation in more detail. Okay, so I just want you to be introduced to the concept now. So let's actually take this and let's actually calculate all 5 ideas at once. And you might think like, oh my God, how are we going to do all 5 ideas at once? If you were to do that by hand, just give me half an hour and I'll calculate them all for you. Okay? But because there's so many steps to each of these, but we have the CAS. So why not? I'll show you how to do it. It will spit it all out and you'll be able to calculate it
They
probably in
do it in
about
method.
a couple minutes. In methods, in methods, you do need to know how to calculate it by hand, but you also need to know how to calculate it on the CAS as well. So the level of complexity increases there. Okay? Now, it says here, the table shows the monthly rainfall figures for a year in Melbourne. Okay? So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And you can see this is how much rainfall there is. Just by looking at the numbers here, you can see that the numbers are kind of low here. Don't know why compared to the rest of the year for rainfall, but whatever. I'm not going to question it too much. They want us to determine the mean. So just a bit of transitivity analysis here. Determine is what we want to do. So that's our process. Our participants. Oof, we've got a fair few here. Mean, standard deviation. What is the idea of mean, Arafat? Is that a location, or are we talking about spread here when they're asking about the mean?
Location.
Location, excellent. And Maddie, what are they asking about when they are talking about standard deviation? Are they talking about the spread or are they talking about the location? You can type in the chat, Maddie. Spread, fantastic. Correct. Remember, it was telling us how far we go out from the mean. Okay, so the mean and standard deviation, you can see now, are related concepts. That's why they want us to calculate both of those next to each other. Okay. We've also got the median, the interquartile range, and the range. Ailey, you can type in the chat here. What is the median? Is it a measure of location or spread? And Arati, can you tell me what the interquartile range and the range is? Is that measuring location or spread? The median here. Okay. Let's have a look at the median. Let's go up. Do you remember what the median meant? The median was the middle number, yeah? Location or spread? Yeah, okay, awesome. So it's the location for this one here. Alrighty, which one are these two here? Location or spread? You can type in the chat if you want.
Which two?
The interquartile range and the range. Is that talking about location? Is that telling us where the center is? Or is it telling us how wide or how narrow it is?
Isn't the interquartile range the middle, something like that?
The middle 50%, but it tells you how much you... Yeah.
And spread.
Spread, correct. Yeah, so that's the spread. And what about the range? Is that telling us about the spread or is it talking about the location?
Spread, isn't it?
Spread as well, because you look at where you started and you look at how far you have to go to get to the end. Yeah? Okay, so let's go and find these numbers here. We're going to go and we're going to find all these values here for all of these ideas. Let's go and change the color a bit. So can you please open up your CAS now and type in the values at the top there? We know how to do this by now, hopefully. What would you label the title, Arafat? What would you label the title here? What idea are we talking about for these numbers here?
It's title.
Mm-hmm. The title for our CAS, for our calculator. What are these numbers talking about?
I can't see months.
Does this represent 48 months? Does this number here show 48 months? Sorry, my connection's a bit unstable. So you're saying that this 49 or 58 here means 58 months. Is that right?
Yep.
Have a look. The month here is for the top line. Yeah? So
the rainfall and then the month.
Yeah. So what does this number here represent though? What does that 50 mean?
50 months.
50 months.
No, I meant.
Have a look across. See that 50 there? Scroll all the way across to the left-hand side. 50 what? 50.
Yeah. 50 rainfall.
50 rainfall. I've never heard of 50 rainfall before.
50.
What's the measurement here?
50 millimeters of rainfall.
Yeah, 50 millimeters of rainfall. So around like this much, yeah? That's how much 50 millimeters is. Okay? So do you understand what these numbers here represent now?
Yep.
Okay, good. So make sure you look at the title of where that number is and what it actually tells you, okay? You see at the top here, this represents the month.
Yep.
Okay? So at the top of your table, you're going to type rain, because if you can't be bothered writing rainfall, you can write rain. And then I want you to put in each of these numbers here. So just give me a thumbs up once you're done. I'll just zoom out here for those who want to go ahead. Just give me a thumbs up once you finish typing in all the numbers in your spreadsheet. All right, thanks, Matt. So it seems tempting to make a dot plot, but from the dot plot, Matt, can you actually find the mean, the standard deviation, and all those pieces of information?
Can't you just no, you can't.
Yeah, you can't. And so you need to do something else to analyze to get those numbers. Awesome, Maddie.
Okay.
What about everyone else? Teresa, Force, Gordon, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on my one. So give me a second. Let me just move this.
I've made the box plot, but yeah.
Yeah, the box plot tells you some information. Yeah, it tells you the
Median,
median,
yeah.
the interquartile. You can figure out the interquartile range, and you can figure out the range as well, right? But it doesn't necessarily tell you the mean or the spread. That's where it's limited. So I'm just going to share. The instructions are there, step by step. I'm praying that that's comprehensive for you enough to follow along. Like
Oh,
you
it is. I
look,
wasn't even looking at the screen. My bad.
like the instructions are there. It takes me like half an hour to make these instructions and screenshots here. So I've numbered it as well. Like step 1, step 2, and I've handwritten each of these parts as well. Okay, I show you each and every single screen that you have to go through. Every single screen. Okay? So if you don't have my notes, like please download them and look at them. The other thing as well is that like I want to show you live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the CAS. Okay, so I've gotten this so far, right? But I want to get my summaries out. I want to summarize the data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the calculator. How do we open the calculator? Because this isn't a calculator at the moment.
Controlled document.
Control Doc. Okay, so we're adding a new page here. And then I'm going to add a calculator. Okay. Once you've opened the calculator, what we're going to do is we're going to pull all these numbers here. We're going to pull all this information here, and we want a summary for it. So we go to menu. What do you think? What kind of topic are we talking about here? What kind of topic are we looking at? Statistics. So you can see with the X bar there. So you go to number 6. You go to stat calculations. Statistic calculations, yeah? And are we dealing with univariate, one variable, or 2 variables? Which one do you reckon it is?
Guessing one.
1, because we're only talking about the rainfall, yeah?
Yeah.
So 1 variable statistics, we've only got 1 list there in our table. Remember, in our column, we only had 1 column. So press OK. Now, it says X1 list. So what kind of idea are you focusing on? See how it's just flashing and it doesn't show anything? Press to the right, because see the right arrow there? We press to the right, and it'll show you a list of what. And so this is why we wanted to type rain. So we have the title. So you click on enter. Everything else is pre-filled, so it's fine. Okay, so we just press OK. Now it shows you a bunch of stuff. All of this is so much information here. If you want to go up, you press the up arrow, right? And you can go all the way up. Or if you want to scroll down, you go scroll down. If you press to the left or the right, I think you can see some other stuff as well. But I rather press up and down, okay? You can see so many things here, right? But what the hell does it mean? We actually need to figure out what it means. So I'm going to go back to my calculator now. Can you just give me a thumbs up if you got this up?
My values changed for some reason. They changed to decimals, so now I have to rewrite.
They should be in decimals.
No. Like I haven't got this like from my spreadsheet. My spreadsheet has decimals because after
What?
I made the box plot and all that, it changed my values.
Oh, you must have like moved some values around then. Yeah, so go back and start again. Can I just get a thumbs up if you've gotten this? Because this is really important. You need to be able to grab this information. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, Arafat. Is that it? 2 people? Aradi, thank you. Zach, thanks. Maddie,
Yes, sir.
awesome. Thanks, Force. Haley, awesome. All right, once you've gotten here, okay, I'm just going to go back to the iPad. Okay. So we're on this screen at the moment, okay? Can you recognize here what this means? What is this? What is X bar?
Me.
The mean. Okay, so can you see here? We didn't even have to lift a finger. It already tells us our mean. So we've got our mean. Our mean is 55 point, let's just say to 1 decimal place, 55.4. What does SX mean? So you have a look through and like the next thing, like we don't need
Standard
these.
deviation.
Right, that's our standard deviation. That was the other thing that they wanted. Okay, so I'm going to do that to 1 decimal place again, 5.8. Can you see here, standard deviation, SX? You can see up here, it says SX as well. The next thing is we want to find the median. Can you see the median there? You look down and you try to find the word of median. It's 57. Interquartile range. How do we calculate the interquartile range?
Sorry, sir.
How do you calculate the interquartile range? Aradi? Can you have a look at what I've got on the screen here? Or Adele? We're running out of time. Q3. Can you see Q3 there? If I scroll in really closely, you can see it's a 3 there, yeah? So we need a Q3, that's 59, as you can read across. And it says minus here, so we need a minus Q1, which is 49.5. We can do a calculation there on the side, yeah? And figure out 59 minus 49.5. That's equal to 9.5. And the last but not least, how do we calculate our range? Thanks, Arati. The range here is the maximum minus the minimum. We've got 67 minus 48. 67 minus 48. Now, say on your CAS, right, we got those numbers, but you needed to do a calculation, right? You were like, okay, I need to find my interquartile range. So you go and you're up here at the moment. You're at here, and it's like, oh, I need to do a calculation. You press down, get all the way down, and then you can type your numbers. Okay, I've got 59, and I need a minus 49.5. Okay, I need to calculate my range, so I get my maximum number. That's 67, so I type 67 minus my minimum value, which is 48. Press enter. So our minimum is 19. So I'm just showing that to you there, so you don't have to go and calculate it by hand or panic. So what was it? It was 19. Okay,
Just a
so
reminder, it's 11:00.
Yep, thank you. I'll just quickly summarize here again, right? We've got the location and we've also got the spread. When you're calculating the spread, there's three things. You have the range, the interquartile range, and you have the standard deviation. Okay, each of those ideas there are different. But can you just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you understand how to get it out on your CAS now and where to look? Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Can you guys let me know, like, do you find this easier than how it was in year 10?
Yeah, it's much
Yeah,
easier.
I find this more easier.
Way
Way
easier,
easier.
yeah? Way easier.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to go through and do all those hand calculations. Please don't. Just learn how to use the CAS and it will save you, like, guys, like, let's be honest, you spent like over $200 on it, yeah? May as well use it, right? So, yeah, this is how we do it. It's going to save you from losing your hair at such a young age. Okay, you don't have to pull your hair out. Just learn how to use the calculator and you'll be good to go. So this is exercise 2G. So I want you to go through. Don't worry about calculating it by hand. I just want you to play with the calculator. Do at least 5 questions on the calculator. And if you're feeling good, do them all. Okay? Just use the calculator to calculate it all. Practice typing on the CAS. So see if you can put the numbers in a lot more quickly. Okay, so I'll send off everyone the notes. I think next week I'm going to try to get us to do our financial sack. So yeah, for now, enjoy your weekend. Try to get some work done so I can see. Your hurdle task 1 scores are up and your hurdle task 2 scores are up on Compass as well, I believe. So, yep, have a look. Hurdle task 1, you guys did like how you did normally, like last semester. Hurdle task 2, however, that was run online and everyone did really well. So I know you guys probably have like a separate chat on like social media and you probably like contacted each other and like gave each other the answers, because some people who weren't supposed to get above 70% got 80%. Most of the time you guys fail, but somehow you got above 80%. And so here's the thing about data. Data doesn't lie. You can lie about your work, you can lie about your homework, but data does not lie. I know how to read numbers, and so you can't fool me, okay? The only person you're fooling is yourself, because you're dishonest with yourself. So, yep, if you know, you know. Which is why on the hurdle task, on the SAC, and when you're doing it online, you need to show working out. I'm setting it up in a way where you have to show working out, and so if you don't show working out, then bugger. Anyways,
Is the SAC gonna cover statistics, or I mean the financial math?
finance. Yeah, so simple interest, compound interest, recurrence relations, and the rules.
Yeah.
I'm going to be running through that on Monday's classes after school. Okay.
When's the SAC?
Sorry?
When's the SAC?
When's the SAC? At this point, I'm not too sure. Maybe at the end of next week. So I do want to spend some time like revising over it. Monday class after school, like 3:15 to 4:15, and Thursday's class after school from 3:15 to 4:15 next week. I'm going to be spending that time to revise for financial mathematics. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, I've got a meeting to go into now, so I'll catch you soon. Take care, guys.
Enjoy the day, sir.
Alright, so take
Bye,
care.
Bye, sir. Have a nice
Bye-bye.
day.
You too. Take care.
See you later, sir.
See ya.